We have a very special podcast today. We're going to tell you what happened to us when we were finally reunited with Mr. Miyamoto at the Super Mario Brothers movie premiere that we went to over the weekend.
We had an incredible weekend. We were at the premiere. We saw the movie. We were reunited with many Nintendo people.
We were.
Mr. Miyamoto, Doug Bowser.
Yeah.
Others whose names you don't know.
Yes, exactly. It was our first sort of big Nintendo event that we were invited to and attended after we became independent.
Right.
So the chances of awkwardness and just some unknowns on how people would feel and how we would feel were kind of high. Stakes were kind of high. So it was interesting. We'll tell you all about that.
This is a feel-good episode, I think, this week.
It really
the episode
is.
we had last week rankled a few people, I think.
Yeah.
I think it made some people look in the mirror.
Examine their lives and selves.
Take a cold, hard look in that mirror. What am I doing?
Wait, the problem is me, as it
Wait,
Taylor
I am going to
Swift
buy
says.
this game. But no, this is a feel-good episode.
This is a feel-good episode. We really had the most spectacular weekend ever, and we can't wait to share it with you. As always, everything that we do on this channel, all of these cool things that we get to be a part of and share with all of you is made possible by our wonderful Patreon community. Please help us and support us if you want to hear more insider stories, if you want to hear about our experiences working at Nintendo for over 25 years collectively. You got to support us on patreon.com/KitandKrysta.
Our ranks are growing. We have. I like to look back at the end of the month, see how we did. We had
record-breaking month.
Our best month ever in over a year on YouTube. And we have a record high number of Patreon subscribers, so that's wonderful. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much. Our community is growing. You know, we spend a lot of time with our Patreon community, and it's really by far the most kind, supportive, wonderful group of people ever. So we're always so grateful to have you guys. If you want to join our ever-growing community, please.
We've got 5 great tiers.
Do so.
Starts as low as $2 a month, and you can get a free trial for a week on our most popular tier.
Yeah.
No more excuses. Time to do it.
That's right. That's right. We also have been talking a lot about potentially going to Japan this year. You know, we haven't been to Japan.
Big update on this, yes.
Yeah, we haven't been to Japan in many, many years. We have a lot of memories and stories and insider things that we want to share with you guys from Japan, but we need your support to get there because those plane tickets are pretty pricey.
Even that trip to LA that we took was quite expensive.
WrestleMania.
Because it was during WrestleMania weekend we found out. We're like, what's going on in LA? It's like, oh, it's WrestleMania at the giant football stadium.
You weren't like, let's ditch this movie premiere and go to WrestleMania instead.
Well, kind of funny had the dilemma because Tim Geddes was at the premiere.
And he was at WrestleMania.
And then he went to WrestleMania, but then Greg Miller, he was doing like actual hosting stuff on WrestleMania.
So he missed the premiere.
He didn't go to the premiere. I see where his
conflicts.
priorities lie.
Wrestling.
Yeah. Wrestling.
You should have just combined the two into a WrestleMania movie premiere. That would be great. I'd pay money to see Jack Black in a Bowser costume.
He did that show. He did that movie where he was the Lucha Libre.
Yes,
was it Nacho Libre?
Nacho
was that
Libre,
it?
yeah.
He did that.
See, the worlds could converge. Anyways, back to
Japan, though.
Japan, though. There's no WrestleMania
Yeah.
there, but the plane tickets are still very, very, very pricey. So we do need your support to help us get to Japan. Unfortunately, we were doing this Patreon goal.
Right.
But they got rid of that feature altogether.
Yes, they pulled the plug on that feature, so it's
okay.
gone.
Yeah.
It's okay, though. So we have some new ideas about how we're going to try and fund this trip.
Yeah. And I think that we're going to start to, ask you guys to help us fund it through Super Thanks and Super Chat.
Right.
Just right there on the old YouTube.
Those are features right in YouTube.
Watching this video right now. We'll just sort of start a little Japan fund there. And every Super Thanks, every Super Chat that you drop into YouTube will go towards our trip to Japan.
Yeah, it'll go directly into that. We will keep you posted on how it's. You love a graphic.
I love a good graphic.
Of a thing
thermometer. I like the thermometer graphic.
Right.
I really want to do that.
Right.
So.
And just because the earlier progress we made on that goal is not for naught, we will be starting off with $1,000 in there. So we're putting that right in. Nice little start. So just think of it like a little tip jar for us.
Yes, a little Japan tippy jar.
Yes, and all of our Patreon subscribers, you are doing a lot already. So thank you very much.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
What else is going on? I feel like there's a lot of stuff.
So some stuff that is out on the channel recently, if you haven't seen it. First of all, thank you to Ewin Racing for the beautiful new desk that we have.
Yes,
I feel like I'm doing the 5 o'clock news or something
I
now.
know. You might have noticed a little difference in our beautiful set here, but we have this new desk. It's actually very fancy, so we'll insert in some close-ups of it. But yeah, our set is getting like very, very much a nice facelift here.
The channel though, so last week I think we uploaded 7 videos, which is a lot. That was the big Tears of the Kingdom week.
Yes.
So if you have not seen those, we had a predictions video.
And then reactions.
We had a reactions video, and then we had a podcast analyzing in depth everything that we saw.
Yeah.
So that was everything that we had on Tears of the Kingdom, big week there. We had our GDC vlog go out, where you saw everything that we played there. We saw an amazing game called Viewfinder, which you will not want to miss.
Yeah, that game like totally blew our minds. So check out that video to see Viewfinder and also a ton of other games that we played at GDC.
Forget Tears of the Kingdom, though. This is Mario Movie Week.
Mario Week. I took away all the Zelda decorations in the studio.
We don't have a lot. We talked about that. So where's all the Zelda stuff? We actually don't have a lot.
Mario stuff, not Zelda stuff.
We don't have a lot of Zelda stuff. We have a lot.
Some
no,
Zelda things.
We don't.
Okay.
No.
Anyways, Mario though.
So by the time you are watching or listening to this podcast, we will have posted our vlog of the premiere, which is incredible. Incredible piece of art.
Best nights of my life.
Incredible piece of art.
Oh, a piece of art.
It's a piece of art, yes.
A masterpiece.
We also have our very first review.
Yes.
We say here we don't do reviews.
we don't review video games.
We're caveating that now. We don't review video games.
Apparently we review movies.
Now we're reviewing movies. We are doing our first review. It is out. You can listen to it. We have a full podcast.
Oh yeah.
Light spoilers.
I was gonna say,
in there.
If
Very
you're
important.
worried about spoilers, the movie premiere vlog has no spoilers.
No spoilers at all. Yeah.
So you're safe. The review special podcast will have some light spoilers, but we will not spoil like major story things or big moments. This movie is chock full of those delicious things, so we don't want to take that away from you guys. So don't worry, only light spoilers in there.
Right. So big week for the Mario movie, and we have a lot of stuff to keep you going on that. We also have one other video coming at the end of the week on Minecraft Legends, which is a game that we played that's been under a pretty long embargo, but we ended up liking that game a lot. So if you want to see more of that game and see what we thought about it, you can check that out.
Yeah.
Soonish? Who knows when that's going up?
Yeah, soonish. This week, soonish.
Last but not least, the Kit and Krysta controller is still a thing that you can get.
Very exciting.
You can only pre-order it for a few more weeks, though. At the end of April, that goes away.
Right.
And then we make everything that we pre-ordered.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah. Limited edition.
Right. Limited edition.
That's why it's called that.
Limited run.
Right.
If you want to get in on that, you can go to kitandkrystacontroller.com.
Yes.
Get the details. Get your pre-order in. Our Patreon subscribers do get free shipping on that.
That's
so it's a nice little perk.
Nice little perk.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited about that. So thanks to anyone who's already pre-ordered. You'll be getting your controller in a couple months, which is very exciting.
Right. Before we get into our big story time on the Mario movie premiere, gotta say, this episode is sponsored by ExpressVPN.
Yay!
Have you ever browsed in incognito mode? I'm asking you.
I definitely have, but you know what? It doesn't work.
It's not as incognito as you might think.
Yeah.
That is a Google product, Chrome, with its incognito mode. What's Google best at?
Selling your
Taking
data for
your
ads.
data. Yes. Google's claim is that incognito does not mean invisible. So there are still ways that they can get at your stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where ExpressVPN comes in to make your searching much safer.
Yes, it encrypts all of your data. Not only is it great for things like incognito mode or a much better incognito mode, but it's also great for when you're traveling. We were traveling over the weekend for this Mario movie premiere, and we definitely were using the internet at the hotel to do all sorts of things for our channel, and you certainly do not want any of that stuff to get hacked while you're traveling.
Yeah.
So.
Take it from the two of us. We do extensive stuff around the end of the year on the best video game butts that we have seen. That takes a lot of research, a lot of typing that stuff into Google.
Oh, yeah.
That's where ExpressVPN is saving our butts.
Oh, that's a good.
Got
I
it?
like that.
That's slick, isn't
That's
it? I just
very
came up
slick.
with that.
Good job.
So, if you really want to go incognito and protect your privacy, secure yourself with the #1 rated VPN, visit expressvpn.com/KitandKrysta and get 3 extra months for free. That's expressvpn.com/KitandKrysta. Go to expressvpn.com/KitandKrysta to learn more.
We'll put the link right here and also in the description below.
Yeah.
Check it out.
All right, so the so-called best night of your life,
Best
the
night of my life.
Mario movie premiere.
Yeah, let's talk about
Let's talk about this
in great detail.
So we first heard about this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And very interestingly, they were a little coy about what it was.
Yeah, it was interesting.
They said they're doing a screening in Los Angeles on April 1st, and that we were invited, and there would be some more details to come.
Right.
And I said, well, of course, we want to go to that.
Right.
No matter what it is, it's like an early chance to see this movie.
Right.
So we'll be there. And as we got a little bit closer, we followed up with some questions.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we want to get ready for this, want to know what we're getting into.
Right.
So can you tell us, like,
A little cagey?
is this a premiere? Is it just a screening? Like, what do we need to know? And it took a long time to get a clear answer.
They're trying to keep it under wraps for a while, I guess. So
Right.
No one spills the beans.
Yeah.
But it was truly like a legit world
So the world premiere. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So obviously the entire cast was there. Mr. Miyamoto, who is the producer of the movie, along with Chris Meledandri, or you like to call him Steve Ballmer, was there as well.
Yeah.
Tons of invited guests from,
Luminaries of stars and screen like us.
Mine did say Illumination Celeb on my
You're
ticket.
really caught up in that.
I feel good about that, okay? That's a validation right there. Yours didn't say that.
Are you sure?
I don't know. I'm not
I think it did. We got the exact same envelope.
didn't get one.
I think you're lying right now. Yes.
Yeah.
So they finally tip us off. Say, yes, this is the big thing. This is the full premiere. So we're very excited for that. We didn't know really who else was going. We weren't really talking to people about it because they were like, keep it hush hush. So we did. I have to talk about this. We were excited about this. Like, what are we going to wear to this premiere?
Oh, you had some problems.
I got screwed, to be very blunt about it.
Oh.
So I looked up. So I have this great Mario suit, but it's very winter themed.
You've worn it for like our Game of the Year
episode.
episode.
I wore it then. It's like Mario with these like snowflakes and stuff like that.
Yeah, very cool little jacket.
But I can't be wearing that in the middle of
Spring.
So that same company, opposuits.com. I go to their site and I just type in Mario, see what do they got. And I see this great like Mario blazer. And it's got like 8-bit Mario.
It's really cool.
8-bit Bowser. I was like, this is perfect. Like, it's not like in your face like some of their other stuff. It's a little bit subtle.
You can wear it with like normal clothes underneath and just have the jacket be like
so I was
the
like,
statement
perfect.
piece.
I'm going to get that. So I ordered that like 10 days in advance. I chose the shipping that said you will get this like within 4 to 5 days. So I'm like, good.
Perfect.
I am set. And then you get this, you got some, what were you wearing?
I picked out like a dress that had, it was like a dress that had like superstars on it, like stars.
Right.
I thought it'd be cute for like that superstar theme, and I had like a necklace that had like the 8-bit star on it, which was cute. But
so I'm getting like days away from this thing. This jacket hasn't come yet. So I'm starting to get nervous.
Starting to panic a little bit.
And it's not coming. I send a desperate email to their customer service saying like, what's going on? I didn't even get like a shipping confirmation.
Yeah.
I'm really like in a bad way for this. Hear nothing back.
That's the thing. Like, if it was a problem, at least they could have responded to you so you could like figure out what to do. But they didn't even respond.
Well, they did eventually respond.
But for like days later.
As we were walking to the event, they responded.
Oh my God.
So the thing never came. It turns out this was a product that they didn't even have in their warehouse. And they're like, oh, this was a bug in our system that we could list this product that we didn't have. Oh. Thanks for nothing. So I had to scramble to cobble together an outfit. I didn't look my best, I'll be honest. I looked fine.
Oh, I thought it was fine.
I wanted to wear that.
I know. There are some people that
I could have looked like Tim Geddes of Kind of Funny, who had it.
Tim Geddes
was
looked
so
the best.
well thought out.
He had the best outfit of the night, I think. He was dressed up like the box of Super Mario 3.
Right.
So he had like a yellow blazer with like a checkered shirt.
Yes.
And a really cool pin. Anyways, look up the picture.
He came prepared, unlike me.
He looked fantastic.
Right.
I looked great, I thought.
It was just me. I was the only schlub.
It was just you.
So anyway, this is in downtown LA.
Yeah.
The theater that it's at is strangely in that LA Live
where
E3
happens. And it was very bizarre to be in that space with a bunch of people that you normally would see at E3, but you're not at E3, and E3 just got canceled officially like 24 hours ago.
Right.
So it was like a bizarre sort of like, oh, this is like a little mini reunion with all these great people in the same space where we normally would have this kind of reunion thing. So it was like an odd feeling for sure.
It's not the theater that I would have said like, oh yes, this is where we're going to have this glamorous opening. It's just kind of like a very regular
it's
movie
the Regal Live Theater, I think. Yeah.
Because they have a great movie theater in Universal Studios that they were really getting decked out for this movie.
Yeah.
And when we were there, we're like, oh, they're probably going to do the premiere here.
Because it's on the City Walk.
And they own that space. It's super easy for them to do it.
Yeah.
But no, they did it there for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah, it was interesting. Maybe because it was more central.
So we walk. They told us to get there like a couple hours before.
Right, to like pick up our passes.
For reasons that are unclear.
Yeah.
But we gladly did it. So we get there. We're kind of scoping it out. And we see this kind of like scuffle, this like motion out of the corner of our eye.
Yeah.
And we're like, what's going on here?
Big group of people scuffling.
And there's like, it's like a rugby scrum where there's just like, it's just like about 12 people just like pushing up against each other and like trying to get past each other. Like, what is going on here? We look closer.
It's Mr. Miyamoto.
It's Mr. Miyamoto and his Nintendo entourage.
Yeah.
Kind of butting up.
And security guards.
And security butting up against these like whack job like autograph seekers.
These people are so aggressive.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that. They were around like the whole night.
Yeah, they're just stalking.
They were just stalking
him.
the premiere, not just him, but all the other cast members as well.
Yeah.
In a very aggressive, like, it made me mad way. Like, it was not cool.
I experienced this once before in a trip with Mr. Miyamoto that we'll talk about in depth in a future story time.
Yeah.
But they were literally, like, chasing us around the city. And I was with Bill Trinan, who I felt was about to get into a fist fight with one of these guys. He was so mad. Like, we were all just, like, at our wits' end of, like how to deal with these people. Like, please go away.
Yeah.
So
it's super inappropriate.
Yeah. This moment, I caught it on video, is in our vlog.
It's in our vlog, so you watch it to see the video of it.
He was literally walking, like, 20 feet to get back to the hotel.
And he basically got, like, pushed.
Again. The rugby scrum.
Like, I think his little feet probably weren't even touching the ground at that point. He was just like dangling in the middle of this like group of people that like mushed into him and got him into the hotel.
Right.
But I don't like those people for the record. They're bad people. Those
are not like good friendly fans.
No, they're terrible people.
They have bad. They're putting that stuff straight on eBay.
They're gonna
That's
sell
what they're doing.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible.
Yeah.
I don't like them.
So
they were so aggressive, and I felt
that.
very, very bad for Mr. Miyamoto.
But it was Mr. Miyamoto. It was Koji Kondo was there. We found out. We saw him. And then just all the sort of Nintendo Japan executives.
Yeah.
Mr. Furukawa was not there.
Not there.
We had a question about that. You crazily said, I don't know if Mr. Miyamoto is going to be at this thing.
I just didn't know because I didn't know like what this was for a long time because they didn't tell us that it was like a premiere with everybody until the last minute.
He is the co-producer.
I know.
Of this big Hollywood
and then
movie.
I was like,
he's going to be there.
Is he going to come back? Because I saw him at the Universal park opening, and I was like, oh man, he was there for that, and now he's got to come back for the movie.
He needs weeks to recover from these long flight and his stressful first class seats.
I mean, I don't know, it's still hard, but I was very happy that he was here, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. But he was certainly, basically everyone that was important was there. So
there was also a big group from Nintendo of America.
Yeah,
people we know. We saw Doug Bowser out of the corner of our eye. Some people that we used to work with.
Really
we saw
closely.
So we couldn't get in yet, but we saw them across the street. I'm like, oh, good, we're going to see them.
Yeah.
So I think you started to get nervous of like, well, what's it going to be? Are they going to
get slapped?
Are they just going to give you the cold shoulder, the stink eye, the evil eye? What's it going to be?
Yeah, it's true. It's not like we're doing anything bad, obviously, but we certainly, we left the company on our, on our own accord, and then started doing this stuff. We're certainly very honest about Nintendo things, and we're not shy about sharing that honesty with you guys. Nintendo is a very like closed door company, so there could be like a sense of like, oh man, they're really out there talking, you know? I don't think that we've done anything that crosses any line at all. We left the company on very good terms. We still talk to a lot of people at Nintendo. No one has come to me and said, like, you know, I hate you now or whatever. So,
but when things happen, like your Nintendo Minute videos disappear, you might start to wonder what's going on.
I definitely think there is this like separation that they don't want us to be associated as official Nintendo spokespeople anymore, which is fair.
Right.
But yeah, you just don't know. Like, you don't know how people feel. I haven't talked in depth with like Doug Bowser for a year.
For what it's worth, I did run into Doug Bowser at the Game Awards.
Oh, you
and
did?
had a warm embrace with him. Also with Reggie, as I was taking Reggie to our lunch spot. We ran into Doug Bowser randomly. It was like, we're all here.
That's cute.
We had a three-way high five. Yes!
Put your hands in.
We're awesome.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, yes. I honestly, I was feeling a little bit nervous. And again, the other thing I don't like is I really dislike putting myself in a situation where there's some like awkward, small talky kind of, like if I don't want to be around you, you know, like I don't want to be around you. So, and I don't want to be around someone that doesn't want to be around me. You know what I mean? Like that's a weird thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that to be the situation if we were just like trapped together like before this movie and like it's weird. But that was not the case at all. So it was fine.
It was good. So we get in line to get our tickets. We sort of hang out there for a little while. We see out of the corner of our eyes somebody a little bit further up, Andre of Game Explain, who would be sort of our companion for the rest of the night.
Yeah. Well, he was sitting very close to us. His seat was close to our seat.
But joined by no other than Patreon subscriber extraordinaire Paul Gale.
Paul Gale,
was Andre's +1.
That's right.
For the night.
How cute.
So we kind of stuck together through it for the rest of the night, which was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun.
So we get our tickets finally. They look awesome. You can see those in the vlog too.
Yes.
And they sort of push us into the theater. And we get to see a little bit of the red carpet.
Right. But that's mainly for like the people that are filming.
We did not get to see the cast coming in though.
Yeah, we did see some photos afterwards. It looked like Chris Pratt and Anya Taylor-Joy came in the Mario van, which was very cool.
So we did once we were inside, they did at some point really like push us hard, like you need to get into the theater. And I think that's why, because I think that's when the actual cast was arriving and they wanted a smooth entrance for them inside.
That makes sense. Yeah, you don't want people to like bombard them.
Right.
Yeah, with like, you know, with autographs or photos or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, that makes sense.
So we get the tickets, we see the red carpet, we go inside, and we're reunited with Doug Bowser. Hey, hi.
Yeah, hey, hi. Yeah, big hug from Doug. Really, Doug is one of the nicest people ever. Like we've always had a good relationship with Doug. It was nice to have that confirmation that he's fine, we're fine, you know. So that was great. Yeah, we were able to just catch up a little bit with Doug and with some of the other Nintendo people that we actually did work with really closely. Like they were on our team.
Right.
And, you know, one of them was you were that person's boss at one point.
Right.
So that was really fun to see them, and they seemed to be having a really great night. It's like a really great moment, you know, for Nintendo. Yeah. So to see them and share that with them was great.
We did learn something though, that these people who were there working the premiere couldn't actually watch the whole movie.
I felt really bad,
which was a bummer because they said like, well, I need to leave like 45 minutes in because I need to go do something at the after party. It's like, oh, that's a bummer.
I was like, I'll tell you what happens at the end.
That's too bad.
Yeah,
we did see some other people who said they'd already seen it like 3 times though.
Right, they were like, we've already seen it a couple times. Right. They were doing a lot of the press stuff.
Sure.
So I think they maybe have to see it to be prepared to like any questions or whatever.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
But some other people we saw Good Vibes Gaming.
Yeah.
We saw Brian Shea, our friend from Game Informer.
Tim Geddes,
Tim Geddes was there representing Kind of Funny.
We saw Strawberry.
Yep, Strawberry 17.
Yeah, Megan. We saw MadPat. Yeah, there was a few creators there that we've known.
There were some interesting absences that we were like, where's Roger?
Yeah, and where's like Gerard?
Yeah, there were a lot of like LA-based creators who would have been really easy and who would have like died to come to this.
Yeah, seriously.
So I don't know what was going on with that.
Yeah. There was a lot of people from Universal there as well that like worked on the movie. I think that was like the bulk of it.
I think it became like a friends and family opportunity if you worked at Universal or Illumination to come and see the movie, which was really nice because there were a lot of like people who had like their little kids with them.
And they were all dressed up and they seemed really, really excited. And like obviously you did something in the movie, so it must feel like a huge like celebration of that accomplishment. So that was really cool.
Now there were 2 theaters.
Yes.
I think we were in the JV theater.
I think we were in the JV theater too, because we did not see like the cast or Mr. Miyamoto do the opening.
Right.
Our opening was with Chris
Meledandri.
Yes.
Yes. He did come, which was nice. He gave us a little welcome. We ended up waiting in that theater for a really long time.
We were in that
theater. Over an hour.
Yeah.
Just tapping our foot.
Yeah. Supposed to start at 6, but it didn't start till like 6:30, I don't think.
No, I think... I think it was like Chris Meledandri had to be part of those opening remarks, and maybe those ran a little bit late, and then he had to run over.
He ran over and did ours.
Do it again. Yeah. So I do think we were a little bit later than the other theater in getting started.
Which is fine.
But there were no like previews or anything like that, which is right into the movie.
You just watch the movie. Yeah.
Wow, this is luxurious
to
not get 45 minutes of previews.
Meledandri. What if he's like coming in the summer? He like reads it in the preview.
Hey, check out this 18th Minions movie. Coming next.
Yeah.
So then we see the movie. We won't be talking about that here. Please watch or listen to our review podcast. We'll be talking about that in depth. It's great though. So the movie ends. And then we have this ticket to the after party.
Yeah.
So we all pack in to Paul Gale's car.
Oh, yeah.
With Andre. From Game Explain.
Paul Gale was like our Uber driver for the night. It was awesome.
Paul Gale almost lost his car in the parking garage. It was like that Seinfeld episode.
Oh my gosh. It was seriously like, there was a moment where we were like, do you know where you're going?
The only difference was I wasn't holding a goldfish.
But we did find the car.
We found the car, thankfully. The after party was at I still don't know what this...
I think it was just an event space.
Sure. It was this very large building.
Yeah. Like easy to deck out for whatever you need it to be. But
Right.
that after party was so much cooler than I thought it would be.
Oh, really? You didn't think it would be anything?
I thought it was going to be like a little bit more subdued, but no, they really had it all like decked. I mean, just right before you even get into the party, in sort of the lot outside, they had the van.
Right.
They had
the Mario Brothers, like this
one.
The plumbing van.
Yes. They had a massive, like, gigantic question block.
Right.
That you could kind of take pictures just right outside, which was very cool.
And you were mincing about outside of that question mark block, and we got flagged.
Yeah, I was dancing around the question mark block. We were like filming for our vlog.
You're making a fool of yourself.
And I hear this little voice that's like, "Hello." Guess who it was? It was Mr. Miyamoto. I turned around and there he was. Like he was standing at this little balcony area. He was going into the party as well, and he was like, "Long time no see." I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." So we stopped the cameras to talk to Mr. Miyamoto.
You can see the moment in the vlog where we're like, "Oh, we have to stop filming."
Yeah. We don't want to. Yeah.
No, we're not going to film our interaction with him. That's strange.
That's very weird. Yeah. Like we probably will never film another interaction with Nintendo people. Like that's something that we'll keep, for ourselves and out of respect for the other person as well, and for Nintendo. But it was just like a wonderful moment. Like that really made my night because, first of all, I never thought like, will I ever see this man again?
Agreed. Yeah.
And he really does mean a lot to us. We worked very closely with him. Like we had this relationship with him in the past, and it was sustained by, us having these kinds of interactions with Mr. Miyamoto. And that was definitely one sad part about leaving Nintendo is like, maybe I'll never see this person and get to say hello or congratulations or whatever ever again. And this clearly was not the case because we got to see him and tell him that we love the movie and tell him congratulations, and he seemed really happy to see us.
Yeah,
and
I mean, he was on just cloud nine.
He was definitely on cloud nine.
Which he should be.
Like he truly deserves to be like as happy as ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was nice to run into him and tell him that, in person, and he was smiling and it was great.
Yeah. When was the last time we had seen him before? Was it E3 2019?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And
so much has changed.
For a long time, he would always say, like, yeah, I'm not coming to E3 again. And then he would always show up.
Yeah.
Right. So, but like, we never said goodbye to him. We never had any of that. It was just like, well, we're out.
Yeah. We never got a chance to say, there was a couple of other people that we did get a chance to write to them and say proper goodbye, but we never got a chance to do that with Mr. Miyamoto. So it was like, it was one of those things where you just don't know.
It was like, well, who knows? So that was a very special, heartwarming moment for us.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, and it was just great to tell him, like, this is amazing. Like, we loved it. Way to go. Like, we're still huge fans of Nintendo, you know, obviously. So, yeah.
So we go inside, and then we see Mr. Miyamoto having a good time with Jack Black.
Yeah.
So it's like all the cast is there.
It was really fun.
You probably saw all the pictures, like people were taking pictures with the cast, hanging out. Jack Black was wearing this amazing custom
love his suit.
Bowser suit that had like flames on the sleeves.
Flames embroidered in the flames on the back was like a Bowser shell design. But I love Jack Black because he truly just looks like he wants to be there.
Yeah.
And that I can tell that he was asking Mr. Miyamoto questions and talking with him and was as excited as any fan would be.
Right.
You know, so it was really cute to catch that moment.
Yeah. And then we finally go in, you go through a warp pipe, kind of similar to the Super Nintendo world.
Yeah.
And they had taken this huge, just open space, and they kind of turned it into the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, it looked awesome.
Looked really nice.
Yeah, they had like these sort of mushrooms all over, and like a big Princess Peach's castle that was like the food area.
That was behind the food area, and then on the other side of that, there was the DJ, and he just had like the Bowser icon with these flames coming out of it.
The area behind it was
like
more
two sides. Yeah, it was like Bowser's Kingdom.
Bowser's Kingdom. Yeah, it was like dark and had like the orange flames.
Yeah.
And it was like really like cool. And yeah, he was like, but you know, the music was like Taylor Swift, but the background was Bowser's. That was good.
Yeah. I did one of the most baffling things. So they had this thing set up against a wall. And one of the things in the movie, this is not a spoiler at all, is you see one of the Toads using like an ATM machine to get a coin.
Yeah.
And they had recreated this at the event.
Right.
And there was this nice lady who was like, hey, come push the button on the ATM machine. I was like, okay, what's this? Is it gonna like spit out a little plastic coin or something?
Yeah, is it gonna be like a little tchotchke?
So I pushed the button. I don't know what to expect.
The thing opens up.
The thing just like goes up, and there's like this little self-contained compartment with a single solitary mushroom cupcake.
But the cupcake wasn't in a wrapper.
No.
It was just like a cupcake.
Loose cupcake.
A loose cupcake. It wasn't like in a box or anything.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, you can take it. And I was just like, what is going on?
And then I was trying to get you to eat it, and you refused to eat it.
No, that cupcake, even just on my hand, left a really weird texture. I was like, I don't want to eat this.
I ate it.
You bit the bullet and took a bite.
I bit the bullet again
Yeah.
and took one for the team so I can show you guys what it tasted like. It was like a red velvet.
You said in the video that it was good.
It was good. It was really sweet.
But then you told me later, like, oh, we've got a stomachache now because I ate the cupcake.
Sweet.
Then don't lie in the video. Who are you lying to? What are you trying to prove?
The first bite was good, but then it was too sweet.
Well, that was the only bite that you took.
I tried to eat more of it, and it was too sweet.
Come on.
I had to throw it away.
Let's be honest with ourselves.
And then we also had some drinks. They had like drinks there as well. They were like themed, and the drinks
Final
were
smash.
also really, really sweet.
Right.
But it was good.
Yeah.
Anyways, all of this is in the vlog. You can see Kit's shock and awe when he like looked. The thing revealed that it was a cupcake.
It was so weird. I was like, am I having like a psychedelic experience right now? Like
they're like pumping.
But I don't understand. So, who is there? Some poor person in the back who's like replenishing?
I think so.
The cupcake chamber?
I think so. I think it's just like reaching in, like a little hand that comes in with the cupcake.
Because you can't see, like it is self-contained.
There's a curtain back there, so there must be somebody back there with like a tray of cupcakes. Is it always a cupcake? Could it be something else?
I saw a few other people posting that, and it was the same thing every time.
Okay, it wasn't like
no
cupcake.
No,
you know,
it's not like a slot machine. It's like $1,000 in there or something. No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like he ran every 10 is like something else. Okay, no.
No, it was not. So that was just bizarre, but interesting.
The food was cute. They had like little tiny pizza boxes.
Yes.
And they had like little hamburgers.
Right. We didn't get to eat any of those.
Yeah.
They had these cool photo booths. We did one on Mario Kart.
We did. They made it into like a little GIF.
Right.
You like moved around. That's cute.
They had another one. You could take it with like fire flowers. We didn't get to do that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was people just hanging out, having a great time. All the cast was there. Saw people taking pictures, taking videos with the cast. Really nice, fun way to
celebrate
end the night and celebrate.
Yeah, I think everyone just came out of that movie with like the biggest smiles on their faces, us included. We love the movie, and it was really fun to like just immediately get kind of re-immersed into all things Mario at the after party and enjoy it like a kind of a different way, you know, and celebrate. And yeah, it was definitely like one of the best events I think I've ever gone to.
Mm-hmm.
The best part, honestly, is that I didn't have to work that event. So
yeah, you didn't have to leave the movie 30 minutes in.
That's the thing.
To do the next thing.
This is what happens when you're independent. You do have there's some drawbacks, obviously, like the access to Mr. Miyamoto is maybe gone forever, and you have these different kinds of interactions. But I truly got to be there and enjoy myself. I didn't have to worry about anything. I didn't have to leave the movie early. All I had to do was enjoy myself and share an honest opinion about what I thought of it, which was pretty amazing. To know that we get to do that now and this is our job is pretty awesome. I'm not complaining.
Now, does this mean we are on the list for all future Nintendo launches and events? No.
I don't think so.
It absolutely doesn't. Yeah. There were so many people and groups involved in this. There was Nintendo, there was Universal, there was Illumination. I don't think it was Nintendo who invited us. It was one of the others.
Definitely one of the others. And I get it. I totally get it. I mean, we'll take the opportunities as they come. I think we're always going to be true to ourselves and share our honest opinions about everything with you guys. And that's what it is.
Because there were some moments with some people we saw oh, how'd you guys get here? Well, just crashed it. Yeah.
You certainly were on our list. Yeah. Just kidding.
We did expect. Part of me was bracing for we've been uninvited.
You really thought we were
48 hours before
uninvited.
Somebody took a closer look at this. I was like, oh no.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Cross these
where's
two off.
Where's my red pen? We can't have this.
Cross these two off the list. No. And again, these interactions were. I definitely had some.
You seemed
worries.
Relieved. You seemed relieved.
I was really relieved.
Yeah.
I really honestly was. I don't want any again, I don't think we're doing anything wrong, and I stand by that. But you never know how other people feel. So
yeah.
Maybe it was all an act. Maybe they actually hate us, and they were just pretending to like us. I don't know.
Wow.
Way to panic myself.
You've had a real negative slant lately that I'm a little bit worried about.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's I was just saying, I was sharing with you, oh, we had such a great month in March, and you're like, well, that's coming to an end. That's it.
Well, you can't let yourself get too uppity with these kinds of things. Mr. Iwata taught us that. You can't just when you're doing good, you can't just rest on your laurels and be like, I'm good now. Wash my hands of this.
So you can't experience a moment of personal satisfaction when things are going well?
You can.
I don't think you can.
But then you need to onward to the next thing. Yeah, keep that momentum going.
Well, that's why we're here. This is the next thing.
Don't take your foot off the gas. That's what they say.
I think we're saying the same thing, but you're just in the dumps about it.
I'm not in the dumps. I'm
riding high.
I'm just staying focused on what
I've got the right outlook on life. I don't know about you. Jeez.
Okay.
So that concludes our segment on the, quote, greatest night of your life.
Greatest night of my life. Greatest night of my life.
The Mario movie party continues with our Never a Minute segment.
Yeah. Let me get our stuff ready here.
We are doing a character bracket.
Yes.
For 8 characters from the Mario movie.
Well, this desk is great. Now I got all this room to write stuff.
We got props, we got space, we got a desk.
This is so nice. Look at us riding high.
So we've chosen 8 characters from the movie. Mm-hmm. This is March Madness is just wrapping up. It's like a bracket like that.
We love doing these brackets, and it's perfect.
We're going to be picking the ultimate winner with very scientific criteria.
Yes.
It's all chosen randomly. The matchups and the criteria that they get judged on in each round are random.
They're seeded randomly.
So the characters are...
Keep notes here.
Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, Toad, Donkey Kong, Kamek, and Cranky Kong. We all knew about those characters. No spoilers here.
No spoilers.
The criteria that they will be ranked on is different in each round.
Right.
The 3 criteria, because there'll be 3 rounds, are the voice. What do we think of the voice? The character accuracy. Were they true to what we believe this character to be?
Right.
Based on what we know. And then just the look of the character. Do we like the look in the movie?
Right.
Right. So you are going to be drawing this all by random.
Yeah, why don't you draw the characters
Can I help?
first?
Yes. All right.
And then we'll draw the categories after that.
First character, Bowser.
Oh my.
Second character, Donkey Kong.
Ooh, 2 biggins.
Next. Oh, see, look, I can just lay them out on this table like this now.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Kamek.
Oh, Kamek, okay.
Kamek's matchup will be Mario.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
That's
kind of an easy one for Mario.
That's a tough one.
But is it,
Kamek.
though?
Well, we'll
see. The criteria, you don't know.
You don't know about the criteria. Yeah, exactly. I got some controversial...
Peach, next. You have some controversial ratings, really.
Yeah, Peach.
Okay. versus Luigi. Oh boy.
Ooh.
So our final two are, who have we not done?
Toad? Cranky Kong in one of them.
Toad and Cranky Kong, yeah.
Toad. Cranky Kong.
Okay.
Okay, now we see the categories.
Yes. Category 1. The character accuracy.
Oh.
Was it true to what we think over the decades of knowing these characters?
Right.
Round 2 will be about the voice. And then round 3 will
look.
be the look. All right.
Okay.
You can wear this hat.
Oh, for the official.
Yeah. You're the
I'm
scorekeeper.
I'm the scorekeeper
right.
judge.
So that's the official
Okay.
look. Right.
Great.
All right. Should we get into this? You're
Yes,
keeping score.
I'm keeping score. So category 1, character accuracy, matchup 1, Bowser versus Donkey Kong.
Yes.
What say you? Let me pull up my scores.
Well, I might need you to be a tiebreaker because I gave both of these a 5. I thought that these were the best, the most accurate depictions of the characters in the movie. Why do you have that look on your face?
I gave Bowser a 5 as well, but I gave Donkey Kong a 4.
I'm just glad we don't have a tie.
So we don't have a tie.
We do not have a tiebreaker.
We don't have a tiebreaker
We're going to be
right
doing
now.
tic-tac-toe or something to break a tie, flipping a coin.
Rochambeau.
I don't have a coin.
Okay, so Bowser comes out on top for that one.
Any comments you would like to make about this?
The only reason why I gave Donkey Kong a 4 is there were some moments where I felt like he was a little bit too soft.
Oh, really?
But I actually like that about the movie.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't what I was expecting.
Okay.
Playing
a moment of vulnerability.
There was some really like great
right.
moments of vulnerability from Donkey Kong.
All right.
He also had an attitude that was a bit younger than I thought. He seemed a bit older to me when I was playing Donkey Kong games.
Yeah, yeah.
But I loved Donkey Kong the movie, obviously. And I thought that it was a pretty spot on portrayal.
The relationship between Donkey Kong and Cranky Kong is a thing.
Yeah.
Like trying to win his approval.
Yeah. And that kind of aged him down a bit, I thought.
You did get to see him doing all the trademark Donkey Kong moves.
Absolutely.
Throwing a barrel, he's rolling.
Yeah.
Even blew something like that move from Donkey Kong.
No, he definitely there's a lot of like just the way that he moved, the way that he sort of did like the action kind of things. That was very like the pounding and the whatever. Yeah.
And then Bowser is along with Peach, I think, are the real stars of the movie.
Absolutely. It's exactly how I pictured. And maybe it's because we just know more about Bowser as a character.
Yeah.
Bowser has more in the video games too, just has more like goalposts in terms of like his motivations.
They've really built up that character a lot over the years.
Yeah,
versus others who are just more blank slate.
It's really not like it doesn't depart from his like sort of his persona in the games.
But very menacing in this movie too.
Menacing, but also had some moments too of vulnerability, which is what we see in the games.
Right.
There are games where Bowser like joins you.
Right.
Where he seems like very
a true villain. Really playing the villain role.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Okay.
All right. So Bowser moves on.
Yeah.
Next.
Now, this might piss you off. This next one.
Me?
Yeah. So the next matchup in character accuracy is Kamek versus Mario.
Yeah.
I gave Kamek a 5.
Okay. That's fine. I gave Kamek a 3, and let me tell you why.
Okay.
I thought that the depiction was very true to Kamek, but what do we actually know about Kamek compared to some of these other characters?
Yeah.
So I was like, there's less to
judge on.
Yeah, it was not as hard to match the expectation of the character.
Yeah. I gave Kamek a 5 because what I know about Kamek is that this is a minion role.
Right.
Like, this is like your number 2.
Yeah, he's a
like,
henchman.
Right? And that role was played absolutely perfectly and very humorously in the movie. Like, it was like a perfect match for that type of henchman role.
Yes.
So that's why I went so high there. But
that's fine.
That's because that's the only thing I know about Kamek. I don't know anything else about Kamek.
Right.
Really.
See, I looked ahead beyond that.
I see.
So I think my rating is more accurate than yours, but I will not be upset about it.
Yeah.
Mario.
Mario.
Yes.
So I gave Mario a 5 as well on character accuracy because what I really liked about Mario's character in the movie is he retains all of like the hero type aspects of Mario's character, like the type of Mario in a video game is like he'll just try anything and do it until it happens. And they really do like hold on to that like nugget for his character. But of course they built out his character a ton in the movie as well. So but I thought it was a really good portrayal of like the core of who Mario is like this hero, like I'll never give up type character, and they do a good job.
I'm just looking into Cappy's eyes right now.
Mesmerized.
Those red eyes. Why are his eyes red? It's kind of weird. I gave Mario a 4.
Oh.
Because, like you said, like they had to do a lot of work with Mario because Mario is really a blank slate in a lot of ways. So it would not have worked if it was just like, yeah, he's this guy who runs and jumps. Like they had to introduce a lot of new details about Mario that we didn't know or think about before.
Right.
Which I liked, but for the purposes of this, I couldn't go full on 5.
I see.
Because they had to introduce some new stuff. But I mean, you do see him run and jump. You see him get all the power-ups and do things, which was really cool.
Right, and again, like I think the core of Mario is really like front and forward, whatever it's called in the movie, where it's like, he is, the hero. Yeah. And he will always be like the good guy. Oh, you're just moving them over.
So Bowser and Mario have advanced. That was 9 for Mario to 8 for Kamek.
Yes, correct.
Wow, the Bowser-Mario matchup.
Oh, just like in the games? Great.
Not in the final round. Okay. Sometimes the earlier rounds are more climactic than the last one.
That's true.
Next, Peach and Luigi. Okay.
Now, this one. Your logic is, again, this is around character accuracy. Is this the character in the movie true to what we know about Peach from playing the games? If that is the criteria, I give it a 1. Because the character of Peach in this movie is completely different than the character of Peach in the games. And that is like amazing.
In a good way.
Because her character in the games really suck. Not to be like really rude about it, but I really don't like Peach. In the games. Like a
lot of people we know don't.
Yeah, I don't like the damsel in distress trope. I don't like the force me into marriage thing. I don't like any of that.
You don't like the blow up doll face.
I don't like the blow up doll face. I don't like how she's always in this big ball gown all the time and she just feels like she can't move around. She just has no agency over her own life. Doesn't seem to just have a personality at all beyond the person that gets saved, and I hate that. And I was very, very concerned in the movie how they would portray Princess Peach, because I did not want that to be the case in the movie. And it was completely the opposite. And I think that's awesome. Yeah. And now we know so much about Peach as a character, and I can like say that I might be a Peach fan after this movie, because
I think she's definitely the breakout character of this movie.
Yeah, but in this category, I don't think she's accurate to the games at all, because and not accurate to anything I knew about Princess Peach before the movie. All right. So I give her a 1.
That was a very convincing argument. You're convincing me to drop mine down a point.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know why I had a 4. So I'll drop it down to a 3. I mean, just kind of the nuts and bolts they did get right. I mean, she's the princess. She oversees the Toads, the Mushroom Kingdom. Right. Yada yada.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But character-wise, she's not that character at all.
Yeah, personality-wise, they did really.
Yeah. Oh man, if it was the looks category, she would have blown it out the water, because she looked fantastic in the movie. Like the way
she might make it.
She's not going to make it. Luigi's going to have a higher score. Luigi. What did you give Luigi?
I gave Luigi a 4.
I gave Luigi a 4.
Okay.
So that's an 8.
All
so
right.
Luigi does.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
Sorry, Peach. She's one of my favorite characters
Such a
in the
great
movie,
character
though.
in the movie.
Yeah, but the tough matchup, because and again, so glad that we did not stick with the Peach in the video games, because that's some dated stereotyping that's very odd and bad. And her character in the movie is absolutely amazing. So I'm glad that they went that direction. Yeah, Luigi though. Luigi, I think it's like they really play up like the fearful Luigi.
I had a different. I thought he was more reliant on Mario than fearful, which is why I didn't go full 5 with this.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
Like, the reason I found that he was scared in certain situations was because Mario wasn't there, versus he's a coward.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I could see that. The relationship between Luigi and Mario is something like really beautiful that they do
that was
so well.
Beautiful. Wow.
So,
oh my goodness.
I really like that way that they portrayed that. Because you know when you're playing.
Did this make you wish you were not an only child?
No, I like being an only child.
It could have been a Krysta and a Schmista to do fun stuff with. I can't think of a name that rhymes with Krysta right now.
No, but I do like, because you mean, again, in the games you're like Mario and Luigi, but you never really like think deeper about like as brothers what their relationship might be like, and I thought it was really well done in the movie, and I really loved it. It was like there were some really sweet moments.
Right.
Anyhow, so I that's a really interesting way of putting it, though, that he's not scared just for the sake of being a coward. Right. But he's only scared because he doesn't feel like he has money.
And I do like the like complete coward Luigi. I do like that about him.
I do too.
He's like the bumbling hero.
He does kind of bumble in the movie too, though. Yeah. I do think that out of all the characters in the movie, Luigi might have been one that is just a bit one-dimensional. Like, I think it's because all the other characters are so like over the top. Yeah. You know, like he just felt kind of like straightforward. Okay. So I didn't give him a 5. Yeah. But he still moves on. So he's here in our voice category now.
On our semifinal.
Yes.
And he will be matched up against either Toad or Cranky Kong.
Yep.
Toad. What did you give Toad?
I gave Toad a 3.
Oh, so did I.
Okay. Yeah, this is an interesting Toad. There's hundreds and hundreds of Toads in the movie, but the one that we're talking about is like the main Toad character. Right. And I was like a little confused. I was like, which Toad are you? Are you like the Explorer Toad?
He's wearing the Captain Toad
backpack.
Gear.
But then he like pulls out a frying pan. He doesn't like some cooking stuff.
Yeah, there was kind of a big scene where he like distracts people by cooking, and you were like, "Is that Chef Toad?"
Is it Chef Toad?
Which it absolutely is not. But it confused you.
It confused me.
Right.
Yeah, and so I didn't know which Toad I was judging.
Right.
And I mean, if it was like clear that this was Captain Toad, then I think I would have a better.
Yeah, I thought that too. They were kind of like pulling. But again, there's a million Toads.
There's a lot of different Toad.
I mean, even in the games, is it clear like that's the Toad?
Yeah.
Not
like
necessarily.
Which one? Yeah.
So, but yeah, they did kind of jumble a bunch of things that we had seen from other Toads before and mishmash it into one.
Which is fine. Maybe they're creating like a whole new Toad character. Sure. But it is like the classic Toad look with the red head. Yeah.
Well, don't get into the look.
Oh, sorry.
That could be in the final. Stop. Oh my God, what are you doing? Stop.
Oh, I hope that
Cranky Kong.
Okay.
Cranky Kong next.
I gave him a 3.
I gave him a 2. I thought they really kind of rewrote a lot about Cranky Kong here.
I agree, because I was like, how old is he supposed to be? Like, he's old. But he didn't seem that old in the movie.
Did he even have the cane for the bopping?
Not
the
really.
Uncle Scrooge bopping?
He didn't have that. Yeah. Like, he wasn't. I think the character was a little bit different than what I expected.
He was more spry than you expected. More spry.
He reminded me more, and you might not get this reference, but in Jungle Book,
oh boy,
there is King Louie, I think is the character. He reminded me of that character and not of Cranky Kong.
Great. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, he's very like kind of like, you know, brash and kind of has this like cavalier attitude and is very like nonchalant about stuff. But I didn't think that was Cranky Kong.
He didn't seem very cranky at all, actually.
Yeah, he was just more so like obnoxious.
Yeah, because in the games, like he's bopping DK on the head for like, hey, you don't know what it was like back in my day.
Yeah, he wasn't like
he was kind of like the wise old leader.
Yeah, he didn't seem like that though. Yeah. Okay, so we agree that he's.
Yeah. So Toad moves on.
Toad does move on. Yeah.
By a score of what?
6-5.
All right.
Real close here.
So our semifinal matchups are Bowser versus Mario and Luigi versus Toad. Interesting. That Luigi Toad one is.
Well, that's an interesting one.
And our category here is the voice.
Yeah, voice.
Okay, so the voice of Bowser versus the voice of Mario. Well.
Sorry, Mario. It's a tough look.
So what are your scores?
My scores, Mario, I gave voice a 4, which is higher than I thought.
Yeah.
Bowser, I gave it a 5. Bowser, I gave 5 across the board.
I gave Bowser... Don't spoil it.
Bowser's my favorite character, I think.
I gave Bowser a 5. I gave Mario a 3. I mean, Jack Black is like...
Next level
S-tier performance here. Totally nails it.
Nails it. It
Mario
also brings a lot to it, too.
Yeah. Mario, I thought, I mean, this was what I hoped for with the Chris Pratt performance. I was like, just be good enough not to distract me.
Exactly.
Not to bomb the movie. I don't need you to like be the like glitzy star, like do anything flashy. Just get through it. And he did. So I was happy with it.
My biggest accolade I could give to Chris Pratt for the Mario voice is that it wasn't a distraction.
Exactly.
That is like my takeaway is they wrote the character of Mario so well, and Mario's story and journey in the movie is so well done that you don't want the voice to take away. The voice is so bland that you just forget that you just forget it altogether.
Just Pratt being Pratt.
You're just like in it with like the Mario characterization and like his journey and his interactions with the other characters that you don't even think about the voice, which is exactly what we needed.
Right. So it's 10, a perfect score for Bowser versus 7 for Mario.
Yeah.
So see you later, Mario. Bowser's into the final.
Woohoo!
So we have Luigi versus Toad for the voice.
Yeah. Charlie Day was pretty good as Luigi.
Yeah.
I gave Luigi a 4.
I did too.
Okay, so it's 8 here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luigi, has a bit more distinction in the voice, I think. And I think that came off really well. There's some like classic Luigi scared moments that needed some good voice work, and I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
So
I gave Toad a 2. This was the one voice coming out to it. It was like it wasn't really that memorable to me.
I gave it a 3.
I've kind of already forgotten what exactly it sounded like.
Me too.
Where all the other ones, I was like, yes, I can recall that perfectly.
I thought that Toad needed to be just a little more annoying. Like you just needed.
We needed some of that classic Toad voice.
Hi! Like you need a little bit, not the whole thing, because that would annoy us.
Yeah.
But like you need a few of those like real classic.
We need 90 minutes of that and the Martinet woohoos.
Oh God. Oscar, here we come.
Charles Martinet was not at the premiere, we should say. We found out he was at a convention that weekend, so I don't know if he chose to do that or if
why?
I don't know. We don't know. That was something that we were talking about. I was like, where's Charles Martinet? Because he is in the credits.
He's in the credits.
What exactly he did, we don't know.
No one knows.
We didn't know for sure.
Yeah. What did he do? Is this like some emphasis
I don't
under
know.
different things?
That's an aside.
Anyways, Toad did not score well then.
No.
So 5 for Toad. So Luigi and Bowser are
and Bowser are into the final in the looks category. What really matters? What's on the outside?
Smash or pass? Uh-oh.
So, you said you already gave Bowser a 5. You already spoiled us and told us that.
Bowser looked fantastic.
I gave Bowser a 4.
Why?
His head is too small.
His head is too small.
You need a bigger head.
Oh, I love Bowser's look
that's
because
my
you
one
really feel
critique.
The weight.
Yeah.
Of Bowser. Like when his tail slams
Powerful.
down, you really feel it when he's like in your face.
Shooting fire, yeah.
Shooting that fire. You really feel it. You feel the heat. You know?
His head, though.
Big old claws.
It's a bit too
big
small.
Old hands and claws.
Well, he has a 9, so that's a very strong score.
I really liked the look of Bowser.
And Luigi.
Luigi, what did I get? I give Luigi a 4.
I did too.
Oh, that's a very narrow win.
Yeah,
for
by
Bowser.
1. Bowser gets the win.
Yeah.
By 1 point.
Luigi and Mario, I would say both of them, it didn't really bother me once they were like moving around a whole bunch. Like at first when I saw the Mario like stills of him, like he had a little cross-eyed thing going on. Like it looked kind of weird.
Okay.
Like his eyes are really close.
Okay.
Really close together. I don't know. But it seemed better in the movie in constant motion.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't distracting
Right.
or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, Luigi was the same way. Like,
Yeah.
There's some good mustache moments, I would say.
Right.
Like there was some good hair tech.
Yeah.
That's some good
Hair tech.
Okay. Technology.
Okay.
That was that somebody in the credits did that actual work.
What?
Hair technology.
Oh, you saw that in the
Yeah.
credits?
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay.
Donkey Kong has very complex hair.
That's true.
Mustaches are hard.
I mean, these CG movies, they've got that down.
It looks good. Yeah, should I take my hat off now?
I think you can. Yeah. So congratulations, Bowser.
Tip my hat to Bowser.
You're the winner.
Yes, good job. How exciting. Yeah.
All right.
Well, there you go. This is our character bracket on the Mario movie. Oh, no.
Oh. Well.
Things are falling. And I have hat hair now. I have hat hair.
So that's kind of it for the Mario movie, I think, for this episode. Again, check out our vlog, check out our review podcast for more on that. But let's move on to what games we're playing here, which honestly is not a ton because we've been very busy and we've been traveling a bit here.
Yeah.
But you did start Resident Evil 4.
I did.
I'd love to hear what you're thinking of that.
Yeah, I didn't play last night because I was so tired after coming back from our big trip. But I have been playing Resident Evil 4. And I got to tell you, I think I started playing this game and the first hour did not grab me.
I'm so surprised by that.
I know, me too. Like, I've played this game before. I don't remember much of it.
Yeah.
And I was like a little worried after the first hour when I was like, uh-oh, do I like not like this? There's something weird going on with me that day. I was just like, I was feeling really sickly.
You said you got motion sickness that first hour.
I got motion sickness in that first hour, which I never get motion sickness playing games. I was very surprised by that. And there's something about that first hour where it just looks so grotesque.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, can I stomach this still? Like, it was just, the game looked smelly, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, you just, like, I think I wasn't feeling good that day because I just, like, in my head, I was, like, feeling motion sickness and I was, like, I'm smelling, like, imaginary carcasses. And it was grossing, it was, like, I was, like, turning my stomach, like, honestly, like, grossing me out. And then I was just, like,
That's a compliment to the game, maybe.
It was, like, so immersive that, like, maybe it was, like, a jarring thing for me to see it in, like, HD finally, and so it looked so real that it made me like gross me out. Like, yeah. I mean, it's a compliment for sure if you like are okay with it.
Yeah.
But I didn't love it. But I like powered through it, and the next like couple of days I kept playing, and now I'm like, I love this game. This game is awesome. I'm like so in now. But it must have been like a weird fluke that first hour. Now I'm very comfortable. With Leon, I'm very in the story now. I'm sort of at that part where... Did
you get Ashley?
I got Ashley, yes. I got Ashley. Yeah. Ashley is with me. Yeah. I did sort of like that big, like, you know, puzzle sequence getting into the church.
Yeah. So you're pretty far along.
Getting that boat and doing all the cool stuff on the lake. And yeah, now it feels great. Like, the game is so well done. Like, there's so much just like cool little things to discover and explore, like you were saying. I'm not scared, which is exciting. Like, Leon just feels powerful. Like, I feel like I can handle this. Like, I can kick him in the face if I have to. And he's really hot, so that also helps. Oh my god, I do not remember him being so hot.
Did you turn on the advanced hair for him? Speaking of hair.
Of course. Oh.
I don't know why that's in that game. It looks exactly the same.
He's perfect. Oh my god, he's so hot. It's been a joy spending this time with Leon, I gotta say. I just feel good. I feel like he can handle it. You know, like he's very capable. He's also got that woman on the phone.
Oh yeah.
So
the Codex.
The Codex, yes. Yeah. So I don't feel like a sense of this
abandonment.
Yeah, loneliness and like, you know, I would like that in some games. Like, I like that sense of being alone in Metroid games. I do not like it in Resident Evil games, and that's why it really freaked me out when I played Resident Evil 7, because you're just like alone in this haunted like thing by yourself. Plenty of ammo, plenty of, you know, weapons, lots of chances for upgrades. Like the enemies are like generally slow-ish. Got that cool wolf that I saved from the trap.
You did that? Good.
I don't like those traps. Those traps are really annoying.
Well, now you're at the point where you start to see a lot less of those.
Goodness.
I haven't seen a bear trap in a
terrible.
Were there that many of those in the original game?
Every 5 seconds, my foot's stuck in a bear trap.
It's like Sideshow Bob stepping on a grave or something.
Yeah, I'm just like every step I take is a bear trap. How's that possible? How many bear traps can you possibly have? No bears. Just a bunch of traps.
There's no bears. Come on.
That's what I'm saying. Why has so many traps then? But yeah, no, it's going great. Now I'm like super into it. I can't wait to get back to it today. This game is awesome. It looks so good. So good that I was grossed out. That's the compliment.
Yeah, there is just something about this game where like they nailed every bit of it, almost to the point where I'm like, was some of this like just a happy accident that they got this formula so right? Because they tried to do it again with 5 and they didn't. They didn't do it there.
Yeah, there's something to this game where it just perfect mix of like action and a little bit of horror, a little bit of exploration and puzzle solving adventure. The balance is just perfect. Like I don't know how they did it, and like I haven't felt like, you know, that I'm getting lost, but I still feel like it's challenging.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. I'm about halfway, I think. I finally got out of the village and into the castle.
Ooh, I saw the castle in the background.
Yeah. The village went a lot longer than I remembered, but it's cool because that's like the iconic setting for that game, so I didn't mind it at all.
Yeah.
The castle's definitely a change of pace. I did unfortunately run into a segment that I found to be rather frustrating that didn't click well with the mechanics of the game. And I do remember this. I remember doing this on the GameCube, but I couldn't remember if I found it as frustrating then. So basically, you're kind of running along the top of the castle, and there's a number of people shooting catapults, shooting like flaming rocks at you from catapults. And you need to get this cannon and shoot them down. And you're just getting bombarded by these catapult shots. And Ashley, if she takes a hit by one of those, she goes into a stun state. And if she gets hit again, it's game over because she dies.
Oh no!
And you can revive her, but it takes like
a few
3
seconds.
Mississippi for her to. And at that point, you can still keep getting hit.
It's just so slow.
And Leon can take damage. So it's like, oh, well, I revived Ashley, but now I have no life.
So you got to take another medicine for that.
And they've also did this thing, and this might be new, like when you're running by one of those catapults, you don't take damage, but Leon kind of like slows down and is like, oh, because it's like flames and debris everywhere. So that slows you down. And then I found myself just getting hit by those a lot. So I was like, and there's just a lot of animations, a lot of slow moving things. I was like, I'm just getting wrecked by these catapults.
Oh my gosh. So how many tries did
it took me probably like 7 or 8 tries to get through it. You should look out for that when you get to that point and just know it's going to be kind of annoying.
All right, that's good to know.
And there wasn't like, you know, there's like a scene before where like you stuff Ashley in a locker and you're like, I'll see you later. Like there's none of that. Like you can tell her to stay close or stay far behind. None of those really worked because it was just like everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
And they weren't completely accurate either. Sometimes they would miss by a bit, but it's like, oh, well, that's where Ashley was. So they killed her. So I'm past it now. It's fine.
Now you're in the castle.
I'm back in my groove. I'm in the castle. But yeah, this game's great.
Yeah. I'm going to get back to it tonight. So I'm excited to keep going.
Yeah.
I'm excited that I like it still. I was getting worried.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
Right.
I want to like this game so much. And it was totally a fluke. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I've been doing is playing around with the Steam Deck that you got me, thank you, for my birthday.
I'm glad.
Which has been really interesting and fun. So the first thing I had to do was really think about, like, well, what am I going to play on this thing?
Yeah.
Because there's a wide range of games available on Steam. There's a lot of games. And it's like, well, some of these are these big, like, AAA games that I would play on a console. Some of them are more indies, but there's, you know, a number of indies that are available on other things. So I was like, well, big AAA games, I still want to play those on a console because it's, you know, I want to play it on a big TV, and I can find a solution to play it mobilely. That's not a word. On mobile, a mobile way if I want to. And then it's like, well, there's so many indie games that are not on Switch. So I was like, I think that's kind of it's primarily going to be an indie device for me.
Yeah.
But I did start to find out, I was like, oh, you can do the Xbox
streaming stuff,
cloud play on there.
Nice.
And I found like, oh, there's a way you can do PlayStation remote play there. So I was like, oh, perfect. Because right now I have the Backbone, which is a device that is great and that uses your phone. But this is a better solution than that.
Yeah.
So that might sadly be the end of the Backbone experience for me.
Right.
But it's fine because this is like way better. I did run into a few snags setting up the Xbox streaming because there's no like native Steam app for that.
So you have to do like a weird like backdoor kind of way?
Well, so the way that the Steam Deck works is like the main interface like looks like a Switch basically.
Yeah.
And it's very like slick and it's made for that device. You can also push a button and go into basically like a computer desktop mode.
Whoa.
Because it's running Linux. And you can do all sorts of stuff on that. So you needed to go...
Totally beyond me.
You basically needed to get Microsoft Edge, which is their browser, and then you needed to go into the terminal, which was really scary for me.
Oh, the terminal, yes.
Which is like, this is not what I came here for.
I've been in the terminal for Apple devices before, and it freaks me out too.
I did not like that, but I was following these directions. They actually have directions on the Microsoft site.
Oh, perfect.
Like official.
So they're very official.
Yeah, so it's like, do this. And there was one step where it wasn't working right for whatever reason. When I would go into that mode, it wouldn't recognize my Wi-Fi, so I could not download Microsoft Edge or do anything. And there was also, they're like, click the button to go back to the Steam mode. That button was not there for me in that desktop mode. I don't know why. But I was like, what am I doing wrong here? I don't know. Again, I am not a tech tinker, PC tinkerer guy.
Yeah.
That's why I don't play PC
That's
games.
why I got you in the first place,
I know.
so you didn't have to tinker.
So I was like, I don't know. So I start looking around. I finally found somebody who had that same problem.
Oh.
And basically what they said was, I just did a factory reset and it was back. Strangely, everything worked again. And I had not installed a ton of games yet, so I was like, fine, I'll do the factory reset.
Good to do it early.
And fingers crossed that it worked. And it did. But that was a nerve-wracking moment of like, do I need to like send this back or like?
No.
I know. I didn't want to tell you.
Do that.
I didn't want to tell you that, but that did cross my mind. Like, did I get a lemon here? Did you get me some off the back of a truck or something?
Bootleg Steam Deck. I got it from the black market. I did not. It said Valve on it. I got it directly from Valve, actually.
The Valve Corporation.
The Valve Corporation.
So I followed the directions very closely in the terminal.
Oh, the terminal.
It worked. Thank goodness. I don't want to spend a lot more time in the terminal, but now I have the Xbox.
You have it.
I have that. It works great. Really nice.
Good.
And that streaming is like really good. I've never had a bad experience with that streaming.
Would you try it with the PS5?
So that's what I want to do next. That looks actually a bit more complicated than the Xbox one. So,
So
I'm kind of just giving myself a breather. Or waiting until I actually have a reason to do it.
The PS5 remote play, the way that you set it up on your laptop is very easy.
Oh, okay. I haven't done it that way.
And I basically have like an app on my laptop. And I use that remote play a lot.
Right.
Because I like to play games in bed.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I use it all the time, and it's great. So hopefully it's not that bad.
Yeah. I mean, I go to these devices to play games and not fiddle around in a console. So
exactly.
Again, I'm waiting until the right time to really take a deep breath and do that.
But it's good for indie games. There are a lot of early access games I think that you can now check out. Which
right. So now now I'm at the point where I've just been like going through the store mostly and like wish listing games for the inevitable sale.
Yes.
Because my brain is already trained of like don't pay full price for anything. There's a lot. There's a lot of people out there who are in kind of the same mindset as me. Like our friend Wolfden, like he's got a lot of great videos of like
he's a good resource for sure.
Steam games that are not on Switch that you can only get there that are best for that. So I've been picking. There was one demo that I got that now I'm blanking on the name. It was Gravity something. That his description for it was Mega Man with punching.
Oh, that sounds like
which was
right up your alley.
I played that. That was really fun.
I saw that people were recommending Pizza Tower. That's a game that I was interested in, but sadly I cannot play it because I don't have a Steam Deck or a PC.
There's another game that he recommended, which I haven't gotten yet, called 30XX, which is like a Mega Man meets Dead Cells kind of game.
That's cool.
Which sounds really neat. So
that's really cool.
I'd say it's still getting set up, but I'm playing some stuff here and there. But I have found like the niche for it that I initially was not sure about.
Right.
So that's good and important. The hardware itself, like I don't know if you could use it.
I don't think
to be completely honest.
Yeah, I don't think
it is. It is a handful.
It is
this
big.
thing is huge.
Yeah, my hands are really small. I have baby hand problems.
And like the placement of the sticks, like you really need to wrap your thumbs around.
Yeah.
And it's fine for me.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't think she could do this.
Yeah, I don't think my hands are too small. I can bring it back. And
it's kind of strange, don't you think?
I mean, some people have small hands, and that's just too bad for us. It's not for like some child. It's for like an adult.
Don't you want to make your device functional for as many people as possible?
Accessibility-wise,
instead of like big dudes.
Target audience? I don't know. I know that I can't use this thing, so that's why I haven't gotten one for myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of different, like, it has those little, like, touch pads, which I initially scoffed off, but I actually kind of like those now. Because they do have some, like, feedback, like, it'll vibrate certain ways.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It has a vibration, it has, like a haptic thing, right?
Yeah, that's actually pretty nice. I mean, there's so many ways that you can interact with this thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love anything that lets you play or gives you like some. I mean, the Switch trained me so well to like give you the option of playing like in handheld mode, or if you're traveling, if you can like take it with you to stream something. Like, I really like that.
Yeah.
So I think this thing is cool if it's comfortable for you. Like, it's really cool. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't be able to reach the sticks.
Yeah. I'm still looking for, like, if there's anybody else who's, like, kind of in that vein, like, creator-wise as me, who's, like, a little bit, like, tinkering averse. Like, I'd love to hear if anybody has any recommendations. Because I do find a lot of videos like, here's 5 things you need to do with your new Steam Deck. And it's like 1 through 5 is this, like, crazy, like, overhaul of everything. It's like, I just don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
That's the whole point to have one of these.
So I'm still trying to find, like, who are the people that I am eye to eye with on this stuff.
Yeah, who can help you?
But I've also gotten a lot of great help and tips in our Discord as well.
Our Discord is smart.
So thank you, everybody, for that. They've been very gentle, welcoming me into our PC channel, which I normally stay very far away from, honestly.
Do not know what's going on in that channel. I have no idea what they're talking about, but I was like, what?
Yeah.
But it's nice to have people that can help. You know?
Totally. You said you were going to watch the Tetris movie. You fell asleep last night. I guess you didn't do it. Maybe next week we'll have some. We can only review 1 movie a week.
Oh, review the Tetris movie too?
You can review the Tetris movie next week.
Oh, wow.
Maybe it won't get a dedicated podcast, but I actually want to see that now too.
How are you going to see it?
Maybe I'll buy I can do this free trial.
Don't forget to cancel it after 30 days.
I get a lot of offers for a free trial on this. It's free.
Well, the actual subscription is not expensive.
I'm going to watch the movie and cancel it.
You're going to
what I'm going to do.
You're going to forget.
I'm not going to forget. I don't want Apple TV.
Set an alarm on your thing.
I just use me brain.
Set an alarm in me brain.
Yeah. So no. So look, but people seem to kind of like it.
It's over the top, I hear.
Over the top, but fun and funny.
That's the whole point.
Good.
It's like it's over the top because they don't want you to think it's real.
That's fine. I mean, we have the gaming historian documentary to be like the crunchy,
serious one,
historical take on that, and
this
is this like Michael Bay.
It's like a fun time, yeah.
Congratulations to the gaming historian for 1 million subscribers.
I know, I saw that. Yay.
Well deserved. Nobody deserved that more than you.
So amazing.
Before we move on, this episode is sponsored by Care Of. Care Of is a subscription service that ships high-quality, personalized vitamins, supplements, and powders conveniently to your door every month. We've been using this and loving this.
It's been great. You take this, really short, in-depth quiz about your lifestyle, your health goals, and then they send you your supplements that's best suited for you. And see, you have been trying to get more to be better with your immunity, your immune system. We travel. We're sitting in the movie theaters with God knows who on these airplanes.
Well, it's Andre from Game Explain. That's who.
He might be talking on you in the back row. No, just kidding. Andre's great. But it's important to understand what kind of supplements you need, and it's great that Care Of makes it so easy to get what you need shipped right to your door.
Yeah, the quiz is great because you do feel like you are actually honing in on what is important to you. Because otherwise, you're left to figure it out on your own. Right. Or it's like, well, I guess I could take a multivitamin that has a million different things. That do I want all this? Do I need all this?
So true.
Yeah. And they send it. I really love the packaging too. It comes in this little box.
Your name on it.
Yeah. You take your daily little packet out. It's very easy to remember.
Like Care Of
to
Krysta.
Do it.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so cute.
Right. And there's an app where you can keep track of everything. So yeah, this is if you want to get into supplements, that world of vitamins and supplements, this is a really great way to do it.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. So for 50% off your first Care Of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code KitandKrysta50. I repeat, for 50% off your first Care Of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code KitandKrysta50.
Put the link right here and also in the description below.
Yeah.
All right.
News time.
E3
is gone.
Yes, we were alluding to this. Weird being back in the E3 space. Just, day after E3 gets
canned.
The total can.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we kind of saw it coming.
I mean, last week we were reporting about more companies that were pulling out and saying, are there any companies that are confirmed? Apparently not.
No.
So they put out this statement, the ESA and ReedPop put out this statement, said this was a difficult decision because of all the effort we and our partners put towards making this event happen, but we had to do what's right for the industry and what's right for E3. We appreciate and understand that interested companies wouldn't have playable demos ready and that resourcing challenges made being at E3 this summer an obstacle they couldn't overcome. For those who did commit to E3 2023, we're sorry we can't put on the showcase you deserve and that you've come to expect from ReedPop's event experiences. Moments after, of course, Jeff Keighley jumped out with his tweet.
Just drafts.
See you at Summer Game Fest.
He's got the drafts.
He was ready.
He was ready. Yeah.
So let's play the blame game here. Who's to blame for this?
I don't think there's one, finger, like one person to point the finger at.
My answer is everybody involved.
My answer is everybody and the pandemic.
Oh.
Because it changed the way fundamentally that we do things, not just for E3, but for other things as well. It showed companies a different path. Nintendo has seen this path for a long time, obviously, because they've been doing these digital events or Nintendo Directs for a while now. But I think it showed other companies that there's another way to get your information out there to people. Mm-hmm. Much cheaper ways. So, yeah, I think everybody and the pandemic just changed the mindset altogether. And I don't think that in our modern times, in our 2023 post-pandemic world or whatever we want to call it, like, I don't know if there's a place for it anymore.
Yeah. The ESA was out of touch. We knew that. We had some conversations with them. Like, there was nobody who was really plugged into this, and they were just kind of like trying to make sense of it.
Right.
The companies that make up the ESA, we also know they were just giving them, like, forever how many companies were in that, they were all giving them different opinions. So I think the ESA, who was already at this like point of not knowing left from right, was trying to make sense of all that and trying to cobble together some sort of a solution. Mm-hmm. And then meanwhile, you have these partner companies who are part of the ESA, and they might be telling them, like, yeah, you should move forward, but we're not going to be there. So what's the point of that?
Right.
If you are telling them to do it and knowing you're not going to be there, or maybe you've already said you're not going to be there, that's not a good way. Like, well, somebody will get something out of this. Somebody will enjoy this. It's like, well, you actually just led them down this path of wasting everybody's time and money. Yeah. So what's the deal?
Yeah, it's really unfortunate how it all played out.
And then there's ReedPop, who seems so capable.
Well, they're capable in one area, but not the other.
I put them... the least amount of blame on them.
Yeah, they're doing their job of event planning.
Because they are, at the whim of what the ESA tells them to do. But, yeah, they just ran out of time of trying to figure it out. And, I mean, thank goodness they didn't try and go through with this. That would have been catastrophic.
But it's also not their job to do the other part of the planning for E3, which is the ESA's job.
Right.
Of, like, what is the show going to accomplish, what place does it have in the industry, how are we going to incentivize partners to be involved? Like, that's not ReedPop's job.
No.
So...
You just said everybody deserves blame, though.
Okay.
Do you take that back?
I guess except for ReedPop.
I think they probably deserve some amount of blame, but the least amount, for reasons that are unclear to me.
They didn't do much wrong, I don't think.
Everybody's to blame but me.
Well, you're not involved. You're not involved at all.
I feel great.
But yeah, it's really funny because I think we all saw this coming. But of course, when it did come, it seemed like it was like a shock to people.
Yeah,
and
there was a real
eulogy
moment.
It was a real in memoriam for E3. Yeah. I even saw that Kind of Funny did like an E3 funeral, which was hilarious, by the way. It's hilarious. But yeah, it's interesting. Like I was trying to think, like, what is that human nature phenomenon called? Like, is it you don't know what you got till you don't have it?
Well, these are the same people who have been saying, like, E3 is irrelevant for years, and we need to stop doing this. It's a waste of time. Yeah. So it was interesting to see those people really, like, feeling sadness.
Yeah, and then immediately afterwards it was like, I remember all the good times.
Yeah, I mean, they did leave the door open. They didn't say, like, yeah, this is canceled forever. But I think they really should.
I think they should.
They really should.
Don't try to revive this.
Yeah.
The longer Yeah, no.
Well, hopefully the ESA companies are not telling the ESA, like, yeah, you should try again. You should do that. We want that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Be honest with what it is that you need them to do and what you want. Exactly.
We asked our Patreon subscribers about this, wanted to see how they felt. We did a poll. Poll said that this week we saw the cancellation of E3 and possibly the end of this major event forever. As we consider the potential demise of E3, how are you feeling about it? 68% of people said, I'm sad to see it go, but I understand why it couldn't continue. I think that's our feeling about it.
Yeah.
19% said E3 is still viable if they make some key changes. 10% said, I pledge allegiance to our Lord and Savior, Jeff Keighley. Those people have their heads screwed on right. And 3% said the industry needs E3 and is making a big mistake. Got some great comments as always, very thoughtful comments. Erica Drayton said, nowadays each console does their own presentations whenever they want. With events like E3, it almost hinders them from what they release, when and how they can announce games because you want to make a splash at E3. This way, each can just own their own space whenever they want to release something and just make their announcement then. I look forward to everyone being more like Apple and having a regular schedule where they are not competing for time with each other or trying to one-up each other, but just giving what they have to offer. Hopefully less gimmicky and more wow, I can't wait to play that moments. It's a very good comment.
Yeah.
Number 1, Kit Van Zroid. I didn't say that. Zroid said that.
Zroid.
I agree with the belief that E3 is an artifact of an environment which predated streaming and social media. That said, I will miss it to agree. What I won't miss are the press conferences which were better known for technical mishaps and for going on endlessly. However, in my view, E3's greatest flaw is that it became too big. If companies attend E3, they're expected to deliver tremendous spectacle, and in today's world where absolute control over the delivery of information is paramount, having to plan almost your entire year of marketing around one event in June simply doesn't make sense when flexible alternatives exist.
That was always the dreaded moment in October of the year before where the E3 meetings would start.
We were talking about this.
Nintendo for the following June. Like, what the heck?
It is bonkers how much time and effort we put into an individual E3 every single year.
And your resources, money and people. That is a huge cost that it's absolutely not worth it at all.
Because at a minimum for everybody, it was like a full-on sprint from like
May.
Basically now to when the event happened.
Yeah.
But for a lot of other people,
vacation blackout
like
time.
It started in, like you
October
said,
of last year.
And it was a sprint for them from that's like half the year.
That you're working on one
this one little thing, which is
so
important.
Crazy.
But like, is that the only thing you should do for half of your year? I would say no.
Right.
So there's definitely something to be said about that, and I'm certainly glad that I don't have to. I mean, we wouldn't be working it the same way here, but I'm just glad to X this one out.
Just let's move on. Yeah, let's move on.
Last comments from Gartooth. E3 in its current form may be unnecessary, but I think the industry is making a mistake to fragment themselves and their audiences into their own direct style presentations in the long term. You risk only preaching to your choir and not getting the wider interest. I believe that everyone participating in E3 served as a rising tide that lifted the video game business as a whole. All gaming news being in 1 week meant that even as a Nintendo fan, I would pay attention to what other publishers and developers were making. Now I discover a lot less of what the industry does because I'm locked into only news from the individual brands I care about. Great for a big name like Nintendo, but not for the likes of Ubisoft or Devolver. This was what we would hear a lot.
Yeah.
The defense of E3 within the industry was, this is the 1 week a year where we all come together. You know, the mainstream media knows that. They make a big effort to come and represent the industry through their coverage. So that is one of the big purposes.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this?
I think this is one of the things I loved about E3 and why I also like events like the Game Awards. Because it does feel necessary because this industry is really small. To have moments or to be enabled to have moments where the industry can kind of come together in this way and just make a bigger splash together, like stronger together, right? Yeah. So that part of it, I think, needs a little workshopping around. Like potentially there's some other opportunities that does not involve you putting millions and millions of dollars and 6 months of resources into a 4-day event, but maybe there's another way to do this that fits with modern, like help how we in modern times consume information.
Yeah.
But that moment for the industry, I think, is really important.
The mainstream media is better now than they were in 1999 at covering video games.
That's true.
So I think the impact of then versus now, it's not as like urgent. Like we were not trying to gain legitimacy anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, there is something ethereal that is lost, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody's going to be like hurting as a result. It's very much a soft.
It's a soft KPI.
It's a soft thing that's hard to put your finger on.
People say it, yeah.
Yeah. Next, we clowned on April Fools last week, but there was actually a very interesting bit of April Fools news.
This is cool. This is very cool.
So our wonderful friend Katie over on the Sonic the Hedgehog team kind of spearheaded this actual game called The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Which got your attention.
Which is Game of the Year material for me on the name alone. I did download this on my Steam Deck.
I was going to say you can play it for free.
I have not played it yet,
Steam,
but I do have it.
How exciting for you.
I have this game. So this is a real game. This is an actual product. It's free, but it is a thing that exists.
Yeah.
So the way they couched it was the Sonic team wrote that the game has been a labor of love from the Sonic social team and a host of amazingly talented people who are just as passionate about Sonic as we are. Put yourself in our shoes. If we had pitched to the people at Nintendo Japan, hey,
let's do a Murder of Mario.
I want to do something for April Fools. I want to make a game and I want to release it for free starring Mario where he is murdered. How quickly would I be fired for this?
You would be fired before you got the first sentence out of your mouth. I was a little jealous when this was happening because the autonomy and sort of the ability that the Sonic social team has to do a project like this is so far out of, like, it is like we are in two different galaxies. Incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nintendo, there is not, you can even post a tweet on April Fool's Day. Can you imagine? You would legitimately be fired.
You dare not.
You would be fired, like for real. For real.
I have so many questions about this. I should talk to Katie about this and just get the full scoop on like how she did this. Because like you do need like who was the actual developers who made this? Like did they get Sega resources? Did they get somebody on the outside? Like how long has this been coming? Just a massive kudos to her and the team for doing this,
like spearheading
it's so creative and like again project, April Fool's Day is such a joke. Like this is a real thing. Yeah, this is legit.
It looks kind of cool too. It's like this murder mystery. You're on like a cruise ship, I think. Yeah, and you have to solve the murder of Sonic. Yeah, so it's got like a cool kind of story to it and stuff like that. So it's legitimately like a fun game, I think. But they had this like autonomy to do it, which is so cool.
Yeah. This last story, I don't want to talk about this actually. Let's move on.
I don't know what this
Multiversus open beta has ended and is returning in 2024. Great to do that for a game that people spent money on, jerks.
Oh my goodness.
That's my opinion on that. All right, moving on to questions from the community. Our first question is a pretty heavy one from Pikmin Sneezecop, so let's settle in for this. Hello, Kit and Krysta. Today I have a very serious topic. Feel free to skip this. No, we will not. Nintendo has often tried to avoid real-world issues and very rarely makes any official statements regarding them. However, at E3 2016, Reggie Fils-Aimé opened up the presentation by offering a silent moment for all the victims and their families of the tragic Orlando shootings. Reggie specifically mentioned the singer Christina Grimmie, who had planned to attend the Nintendo E3 booth. During all days of E3, every Nintendo developer and all staff, including us, wore rainbow ribbons, including Shigeru Miyamoto, and we have a picture here. I myself was in the closet at that time and very frightened by the horrible events. I want to thank you for standing in solidarity with all of the LGBT community. Could you talk more about how the decision was made? Thank you. Well, thank you, Pikmin Sneezecop, for such a great question and being so open with us here. So we remember this well. We were part of this. And we were part of the group that was talking about this as it was unfolding. This was only a few years ago, 2016. But I think just like the way that the world, well, I shouldn't say the world, because this is really an America problem. Like the way that like our country we are so desensitized now to this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But we really weren't back then. Like, this was shocking. This was like on a normal day, like, we would stop what we were doing.
Yeah.
For at least a day.
Right.
Because it's like, it is inappropriate for us to be promoting our products at this time. Like,
yeah, there's so many bigger problems that people are dealing with.
Right. This is a period of mourning. People need time to reflect. People will be offended if they see us tweeting about a game.
Yes.
And now here we are today, where the day before the Zelda video last week, there was another big school shooting.
Yeah, a horrible
shooting. It just moved. It was just business as usual. Moved on.
Yeah.
And when I was there, we had a criteria for like, all right, like, you know, what do we do when this sort of thing happens? And the further the time went, it was just like, we can't keep up with all of these. Like, we would basically do nothing if every time this happened, we put on the brakes for a week.
If you think about that for a moment, you just realize just how in how many years, how far to the bad side we've gone, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's
and incredible. I would sometimes get contacted by people in Japan saying, I saw this awful news of what happened in America. Are you going to stop? And I was like, the same thing has happened every week for the past year. I regret to inform you.
I know.
So, like, we have to change. Like, we can't just stop anymore.
Yeah.
And it seems like the rest of the country is just totally desensitized to this too.
Yeah.
So it's an awful thing.
Really, it's an awful truth to face.
Yeah.
But you're right. Back when this particular horrifying event happened, it was like a huge blow to like all of the people that were there. Like, it really was sort of a moment where it made us all stop and think like, hey, it's inappropriate to...
Yeah, it's like, can we actually go on with this tomorrow?
Right,
yeah.
Right. And there was a lot of very serious discussion from all of the leadership teams. Everybody that was, global leaders were involved in making the decisions of how to approach this really tragic moment that the entire country was sort of facing and grappling with.
Yeah.
I will say that the other thing that struck me as different as I look back on this particular event is that I do think that at that time Reggie did have a lot of influence, and he was a strong voice of wanting to show some kind of solidarity or show some kind of support.
Yeah.
And he really championed that. It's a bit harder, I think. You know, we both were at the company during the Black Lives Matter movement, and that was very difficult to champion without somebody like Reggie.
This was also, like, this is what you can accomplish when everybody's in the same room.
That's true, too.
Like, you can really, like, get your point of view much more effectively across than, like, sending an email, which is, like, whatever.
Like time differences and everything, like...
Right,
yeah,
like
it's very difficult to communicate that.
We are sitting face to face. This thing is starting in 12 hours. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the truth was, like, we couldn't stop. Like, we had to do something. But that was the decision, was like, let's have a very, honest and heartfelt open and a moment of silence.
Yeah.
And let's wear these ribbons to reflect the community that was, targeted as part of this. And I think everybody, really quickly got on the same page about it and felt good about it. I mean, obviously there's only so much we can do, but I
think just being able to show that, though, like, and I think for us too, like, being a moment where you felt like you're proud to work for a company that was open to doing something like that, like that's good.
This was a good moment.
That was a good thing,
right.
So I really appreciated the people in the room that were pushing for this. It was like a literal, like, decision you had to make in less than 8 hours before the event the next day.
Right.
So it was good that there was a strong voice in the room to push for the right thing.
All right, Ribbons next. The esteemed Mr. Aonuma mentioned in the recent video that the development is complete for Tears of the Kingdom. Huzzah! And yet there are still several weeks before we can play it. What happens in this period between game complete and game launch? To clarify, I already understand that there's a lot to do. This isn't a complaint or anything. I'm just curious about the specifics. So they call this going gold.
Yes.
The gold master.
The gold master, yeah.
So basically what happens now is everything that it takes to end up with a packaged game on a shelf.
You gotta print the thing now.
You gotta manufacture the cartridges. You need to manufacture the right quantity of cartridges, which in this case is a whole lot.
Yep.
You need to ship them out.
Special editions too.
All the different versions. Yes.
Yep.
You need to ship them out to the distributors. They need to ship them out to the various retailers. And in a country like America, it's big. Like it's much harder for us to do that than Japan.
Right.
Much harder.
Right.
So that takes about a month.
A month or so. Yeah.
So it's not the case where they are, working down to the wire. There probably will be a day one patch. So I actually take that back. They probably are working.
They probably are still working on something.
But you need to have a functional game that will work in the case of, the person who has no internet.
Yeah.
And can't get that day one patch.
Right.
So yeah, it takes about that long. And, we've also seen, some versions of the hardware getting out. They tend to do that a little bit earlier.
Yep.
And that will sit around in a warehouse.
Yeah.
The lead time and the production and the operations of it all are pretty interesting.
It is really interesting how it all comes together at the very end. And sometimes we hear like stories about, there was like that one time where like the shipments were delayed. Remember, like the boats couldn't dock.
Yeah, there was some strike or something.
There was a strike at the docks.
Yeah,
there's lots of like little things that can happen and go wrong during that month before your game launches. So it is like there's still quite a lot to do and to get that ready.
Yeah.
Obviously, digital versions are much easier, and we've always had that to fall back on, like if something bad happened. Yeah. But there was always like sort of tense couple weeks leading up to launch to make sure everything's working like it should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Medallion 2889 is next. Hi, Kit and Krysta. This question relates to a question in the Discord about the direct concept and trademarking it as a name and concept. Do you know if Nintendo ever tried to trademark the Nintendo Direct or Direct by itself? I am assuming even if they tried, it wasn't approved because seeing more and more people use the Direct moniker when advertising a recorded video advertising event. Thanks. I've wondered about this too. I don't think they have done this.
I don't think
they certainly didn't do. I mean, they certainly didn't do it for Nintendo Minute. It was just like out there.
Right.
I don't know what the reasoning for not doing it is. Mm-hmm. Is it so generic that you can't do it?
Can't, right?
I don't know, but it seems like if you could, that would be a good thing to do. Because it is such a
integral thing now.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the word Nintendo is trademarked.
Right.
Maybe they think that the combination of those two things would make it enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you're right. There's lots of, Microsoft does call their developer Direct.
Now everybody just calls it that.
Direct, yeah.
We did trademark as a publicity stunt. It's on like Donkey Kong.
That's true. That was fun.
For a while. So, yeah, I mean,
that trademark is forever, no?
I don't know.
Or is it like a 10-year thing?
I don't think any of these are forever.
Oh, but, okay. That was fun.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo is certainly equipped to do a trademark filing, if they could.
Yeah.
There must be some reason.
There must be some other reason. I think it's because it's too generic.
It might be.
Yeah.
All right. Sabato is next. Hey, Kit and Krysta, we're coming up on the anniversary of the release of the DSi in the West. What was your work like leading up to its release? How did Nintendo position it in the market compared to the original DS? Thanks.
Oh, yeah. I worked on the DSi launch, actually. And it was really interesting because the way that this was positioned was pretty different because it was kind of like that first foray into let's market our stuff as entertainment devices and not just gaming devices because DSi had like DSi sound and DSi like camera and all sorts of other things that made it almost feel like a smartphone without the phone part.
Yeah, that's true.
And this is again sort of something that Mr. Iwata I think was really like thinking through, and that's why later on when we had Wii U, it was like sort of this is not just a video game console; it's like the cornerstone of your living room or whatever it is.
Right.
DSi was sort of the first entry into that, and when I was working on the marketing for this game, for DSi to launch it, it was not really about the games. It was about like what can we do to show off like DSi sound, and we had like Jason Derulo was like one of the artists that we like had him launch his single on the DSi.
Wow.
And he like dropped it first there, which was very weird.
Bad move.
Very weird. And career ender, I know. It's almost good. And then we like sent out this mailer that was like basically showcasing like all the things that you could do on your DSi that was not playing a video game. So it was like very bizarre that it was marketed as almost like this little handheld entertainment device versus it being a video game player.
That was like a month or two into my time at Nintendo, so I was very much on the sidelines. But I do remember that. I did go to some of the media demos, and it was very heavy. Like, you know the games that you can play on your DS. Now we've added all this other stuff.
Right. There
was a good emphasis on the DSiWare shop.
That's right.
Which became a big part of it. I mean, Nintendo does this a lot. They sort of plant the seeds for future products in a kind of a less prominent way in earlier products, and there's a lot of stuff that eventually went into the 3DS that you can see starting here.
Yeah.
Tuscoob's next. Do you think the placing of this upcoming Tears of the Kingdom mini direct to try and excite everyone happening right after the 3DS or Wii U eShop closure means anything? There have been many such instances of Nintendo having major announcements after they do something that upsets their core community. Is it ever intentional because they know they want to shift the conversation around them? Is it just a coincidence and they don't care either way? Thank you for your insight. Let me tell you, they do not care.
I was going to say, if you think that they care, they absolutely don't.
Yeah,
this is absolutely a coincidence. They planned the Tears of the Kingdom, trailer announcement to in the timing that they felt was best to market Tears of the Kingdom. Absolutely had nothing to do with the eShop closures. They have completely moved on from that. They have they don't.
That is something I think is admirable, where it's like when they make a tough decision, they make it and they don't hem and haw over it. It's
they
like,
just stick to it.
It is what it is, and we're moving forward and we're moving on.
They're very much a company that's forward-looking. I'm sure they watched a bit.
And they'll live with their reactions. It's like good or bad, like we're doing this. It is what it is.
And I think they know too that regardless, they got something that people are gonna want later on. So they're not gonna really dwell too much on this kind of stuff. They're like, you might be mad for a little bit.
They know very well.
But this
was kind of the crux of a lot of reporting that we did was like, people are mad now, but
they'll get over it.
In a week, they'll probably be less mad. Because there's something else, there might be something else to be mad about or might be happy about.
And then they'll get over that
and
too.
it'll happen again.
Yeah. It's just a cycle.
Right. Wario Tush, I love that name.
That's a good name.
Next.
Tushy.
As a fan of both Punch-Out and TV series The Wire, I was a huge fan of the promotional videos for the Wii version of Punch-Out, starring the great Isaiah Whitlock Jr. as Doc Lewis and other character actors as the series' infamous opponents. Were you involved with the production of these commercials, and was it a struggle to get Nintendo to allow others to portray their characters, even for an IP like Punch-Out, which isn't necessarily a flagship title for them? So I worked on Punch-Out. This was my first game that I worked out at Nintendo. Mm-hmm. These were made by our advertising team. I do remember them. But I went back, because of this question, to refresh my memory. There were a lot more of these than I remember.
Yeah.
Like there's
like a whole series of those.
Like I found a compilation that was like 12 minutes nonstop of these. And they were really good and really funny.
You have the...
Well, so yes.
Oh, sorry.
So there is a scene where they recreate Little Mac running in the pink... sweatsuit.
Yeah.
I have that sweatsuit that was used in that.
And I wore that sweatsuit in a Nintendo Minute video where I was trained by the mysterious trainer Mike for Smash.
The official sweatsuit. I have it. Is it still sweaty? I hope not.
It's really small because I fit into it perfectly.
I've never actually put it on.
So it fits me like perfectly.
Little Mac.
It's for Little Mac.
Little Kit.
Little Krysta.
Little Kit.
That's so funny.
So the person in Japan who was the producer of this game is Mr. Tanabe, who you might know for working on Donkey Kong Country or Metroid, and he kind of gave the team a lot of leeway to do what they needed to do.
That's pretty cool.
And he works on a lot of Western developed games. This was made by Next Level Games. Freedom that you don't typically see.
Right.
And these were really great. These were really funny. I was really disappointed and kind of saddened of like, gosh, these came out at the wrong time. Like these could have gone viral.
When we had if we had social media.
If this had come out 10 years later, like these would have gone viral and been so amazing. Whereas I think they just kind of came and went, and not a lot of people
we didn't even have like a digital marketing strategy back then for cool things like this.
Yeah.
It was just like a regular commercial aired on TV kind of thing,
I don't even know where they were putting this out, because like we didn't have a YouTube channel until like 2011,
I think. We didn't have a Twitter. We didn't anything at that time.
So I don't know what they were doing with these.
It's too bad. Well, they were airing it on television.
It's a real shame. Yeah, people should look these up because they're legit good really and funny and some really cool takes on those characters.
Yeah.
Zroid. Kit fan number 1, Zoroid is next. Hey,
You
Kit
didn't
and
put that
Krysta.
on this name, but okay.
Since episode 57, you discussed Nintendo's continued forays outside the realm of video game hardware and software. I've been wondering, is there anything in particular you would like to see them tackle next? Personally, 2 things I would be very interested in are, 1, an increased physical retail presence in many more cities than just New York, Tokyo, and Osaka, and 2, something to fill the void left by Nintendo Minute, but they should go even bigger with it. Have a dedicated team to produce unscripted content promoting both their products and gasp even their staff. It's time to give fans a genuine look inside. Great question.
Yeah.
What would you do?
Well, I'm really excited about this. This is already confirmed.
The museum?
Yeah, the museum.
Yes.
I'm really excited about the museum.
Yeah,
I think I'm so glad that they're, again, like paying a little bit more attention to the archival part of it.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, and we've talked about this a lot, is music.
Yes.
Give us the concerts again. That was so much fun. Give us official soundtracks.
Just bite the bullet and release this stuff.
Yeah, give us official soundtracks.
Yeah.
I will pay for them.
Just do it.
I will pay. You could sell them. Like literally
Instead of
make
playing
money.
like whack-a-mole with these YouTube channels.
Just sell them.
Just do it, yeah.
Yeah. So that's for sure. I would love to see that. And yeah, I do miss like the look inside too. Like I would love to see the developers more. However way that they could do that.
Reality show?
Oh, reality game show?
Yeah.
Like
I thought that was again one of those things that where I self-censored myself of like a reality show about the run-up to an E3 could have been so amazing.
Yeah.
And so eye-opening. But it's like
there's no way they would approve that.
I would get laughed off
fired.
for even suggesting it.
You would get fired.
Not fired.
You would get fired. Like a reality show, like you know how like after a big HBO premiere, like they do like a behind the scenes for House of the Dragons.
Right.
Like, could you imagine if Tears of the Kingdom came out and they did like a 6-part series that was like behind the scenes of the making of?
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Do that. They're not going to do that.
I want to ask, I think you know this space better than I do. The point about more stores.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember when there used to be like a Disney store in every mall, and they shut those down.
They did, yeah.
Like
There's not that many of them.
I agree, they should be more than just New York and a couple in Japan. Like there's none in Europe, that's wild. Like how far could they take that before it becomes not so special?
Exactly. And it's hard because a lot of the Disney stuff nowadays is tied to the parks, right? So they have, just like kind of like Universal does it, they have like the city walk with the store, and it's tied to the Nintendo Land or whatever, Nintendo World. So I don't know, I feel like retail space is like weird nowadays. Like no one like, goes to the store. Like who does that, you know? So it's a little weird. Like maybe they can just expand their online store so it's actually functional.
But if you continue the philosophy of these are not stores to make money, these are marketing opportunities.
Yeah.
Europe should really have one.
Europe should have
that's
one.
a glaring.
There's none in Europe.
That's a glaring oversight.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is one in Israel that we did a lot of research on when we heard about. Like, what is this? And it's like kind of official, kind of not. I don't remember the exact
explanation. The other place that should have one is Latin America. Somewhere in Latin America should have one.
It seems like every continent where you sell the products, you should have at least one store. Right.
Yeah. Maybe they can do some expansion for the store and add like a cafe to it.
Oh.
So it feels more substantial and more of like a marketing thing than just selling T-shirts.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. There's a way to blow it up more that, would be interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
Weekly has our last question.
Weekly.
Hey, Kit and Krysta, what are your thoughts on Pokemon retconning real-world references? For example, Lieutenant Surge changed from the Lightning American to the Lightning Lieutenant. Raichu no longer shocks Indian elephants to pass out, and Parasect spores no longer being used in ancient Chinese medicine. Do you like the idea of Pokemon being part of the real world or being in a separate world? This is interesting because the Pokemon currency is yen in the Japanese games. I like that it is separate.
I like that it's separate too.
Yeah.
It gives us a world to escape to. And there's nothing in there that kind of breaks that wall for you. You're just like, oh, I'm in like a fantasy land.
Yeah, I remember there were references. There was like the space shuttle that you could see in the old games. It's like, well, where are we? Where am I now?
And then I think if you have if you have too many references into the real world, you start to ask yourself like really weird questions. Like, how does that Pikachu get in that ball?
Right.
And
Especially
is it
now.
Comfortable? Like you start asking yourself like random
Especially
stuff.
now that the games are very clearly based off of real world locations.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if you want to just go to Hawaii, just go to Hawaii. It doesn't have to be the Alola region. You know?
Galar?
Yeah, just go there. This is for the best.
Yeah, I think this is for the best.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right.
We did it!
Time to shout out some Patreon folks.
We absolutely have to. Well, we're going to start with our wonderful superstars. Here we go.
All right.
Aaron Hash.
Ben Eichhorn.
MaruMayhem.
Eigenverse.
KissMyFlapjack.
Mike Chin.
Mr. Rogers.
Roy Eschke.
Switching it up, _
Sephazon.
TheSharkAmongMen.
vgmlife.
Link, the hero of wits.
Angela Bycroft. Interpig Molly.
TurboChargeNerd.
Thomas O'Rourke.
Simon Barrera.
Kyle LeBoeuf.
And our very new superstar, Twin Dragon 76. Whoop whoop!
All right.
All right, on to our beautiful One Up Club graduation ceremony. Aaron Burgundy.
Adam and Ainsley.
Jean Malari.
Ali Alejandro.
Alexandra Pratt.
Astrodev.
Blazed and Enthused.
Bookem Dano.
Brad SF56.
Brooke Obscura.
Brookie Kazooie.
Bruce Dash.
Chancellor Fairley.
Chelly Squirrel.
Christopher Lay.
Cozy Tar.
Captain Alex.
Sea Roper 17.
Daniel Cold.
Daniel Phillips.
Daniel Valencia.
Dachshund.
Desert Colt 18.
Doodoo Face.
Dolce.
Dino Punch.
Elite Peach.
Espars 50.
Farpree 69.
Fairbound.
Fernie and Jess Forever.
Fox Deploy.
What happened to the dog?
He took it out.
Oh no. Fred Rossi.
Garrett Hullfish.
Garth the Wolf.
Gartooth.
G-Sun 101.
Ian Shea.
Israel Izzy.
Jay Rando.
Jabroni Jones.
JK99.
JPJ.
Jeffrey Hernandez.
Jerry 92602. Sorry.
Wow, the ability to change one's name in Patreon has you truly shook.
Oh my gosh.
You will not recover from this. What did we just do? Jesse Hernandez?
John Responte.
Jonathan Rowe.
Jordan Hemmerly.
Joseph DeHaze.
Joshua Clements.
Juji Fruit.
Just Camtro.
Justin Leminger.
Kawa 2796.
Kelp Shake.
Kevin Delane.
Krisu.
Krista Roddy Kid.
Christopia Party With Me.
Kyle Gamer Berry Rookie.
Kyle Kretzer.
Kyler Nelson.
Linnell Stickman.
Lemma.
Lil Sebastian.
Lit.
Mad Dog 5981.
Murky Man 64.
Mecha Dragon 101.
Megan.
Michael Cravens.
Michael White.
Mickey Conway.
Mickey. Mikey.
Motomania.
Mr. Andy Pong.
MSM Poke Gamer.
Mr. Beans and Dip.
Mytran.
Nasir.
Nathan Burkhart.
Panda Buns.
Paul C. Pace.
Paul Gill Network.
Prime Factor.
Prince Charmless.
Reaver.
Rain Tech.
Ray Charone.
Ryuji Utsuho Okuu.
Renee Rivers.
Ryeth One.
RJ Kern.
Rob Osborne.
Renana Rex.
Rocks.
Rianetta.
Sam Nealon.
Sharif Jackson.
Shinru.
Slowbro.
Schmiggles.
Shrews.
Silly Ferret.
Spicy Munchkin.
Steel Strone.
Tales of Link.
Tefew.
Terrastorm.
Thomas Alvarez.
Topher Schmofer.
Oh, you got to say it this time. Travis Torline.
Troopage.
Tugs Puppy Bear.
Tuskoob.
Tyler Geis.
Vesvas.
Video Game Stupid.
Virtual Bot.
Wicked Davy.
Will Ernst.
Will Johnson.
Zudaverf.
Zalgaroth.
And
Zroid.
Zroid actually did change his name to try and move up to the beginning. I won't allow it. Zroid has to be at the end.
Fox will try to take off his dog Bernard? How dare you?
There's another one. Dulce, I think, is there because I think we butchered that name a few too many times and they got sick of it.
I think so too. I remember I butchered that a couple times.
I'm
so sorry.
See if you can do this, you dummies. We're sorry.
Is Bernard okay?
We'll find out.
I need to know about
I
Bernard.
think so.
I'm deeply concerned about Bernard.
All right, we can find out.
All right. If you would like to join us to have us read your name, please
You can do it.
join us on patreon.com/KitandKrysta. You get lots of other exclusive things too, not just us butchering your name. What else?
If you'd like to support us, you can, if you're watching on video, you can subscribe to the Kit and Krysta channel. You can give this video a thumbs up. And you can leave a comment. If you are one of our great audio listeners, you can also subscribe to the podcast, leave a 5-star rating, and also a written review.
And the socials, please follow us. We are on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and Facebook.
All those.
All the things.
All those, yeah.
All right, we need to go. Talk to you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.